All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's good to see y'all. So I'll give you just a quick little recap of where we left off last time. In our last session, the Knights of Victoria received their next mission. They've been called to investigate the strange death of a female student at Oxford University at the behest of Ichabod Crane. The agents met their driver, a gruff, bald man named Frank, who loaded them up on a carriage and began the journey to the school. On the way, you learned a bit more about a lost lover of Bendigo Jack's and were accosted by a gang of highwaymen. Coming out the other side relatively unscathed, you discovered a fey creature known as a blink dog amongst the highwayman's spoils. After rolling into Oxford, the bandits were handed over to the local constabulary, and Frank has dropped you off at the front entrance of the Bodleian Library, where, off in the distance, you can see your companion, Warwick Axel Hieronymus, heading your way. So you now have something that you guys are going to have to deal with, because you have this little blink dog with you that will likely not be allowed in the library.
Hello there, little fella.
He's a little trepidatious when the robot man comes up.
Not a robot.
He doesn't know that.
Well, I guess. So we're here to check out the scene first.
Yes. And you're here to meet this Theodore Fable,
Okay.
Which is a friend of Ichabod Crane's.
Given that this is Oxford, probably more than likely they're not going to take kindly to my kind. Generally, people that are well-to-do look down upon clockworkmen, even though I come from the same cloth that they are from. So I wonder if I need to stay out here with our little new friend.
No, we could always take turns, too.
We can always pay someone on the street to watch the dog.
That's a bad idea, I think.
I mean, I could stay outside with him. I don't mind. What am I going to do in a library?
Well, that might be well said there, Indigo.
Thanks, mate.
All right, so
Inside.
All right, so Bendigo's going to stay out with the dog, is that right?
And Andy,
yes,
Some
so.
trouble.
or Hieronymus, right? Are you both staying?
Well, I can attempt to go in, but I think I'd be probably better served out here because my reception inside probably will not be that great.
Okay, that's no problem. So Henry, Charlie, Moira, and Father Mapple, you guys step into the library, and you're immediately met by a little welcoming desk there, and behind which sits a female librarian with her hair pulled up into a tight bun and a pair of thin-rimmed glasses. She looks to be in her mid-30s. She looks up from her work and she welcomes you with a little smile. Good afternoon and welcome to the Bodleian. Is there anything I can help you with?
We're looking for a Mr. Fable. We're meeting him here, right?
Oh, yes, Mr. Fable. Yes, I believe he was expecting someone. Yes, if you'll just follow me this way, I'll lead you right to him. And she takes you down the main hall of the library. This main hall is an enormous room with tall bookshelves that branch off from either side of the center aisle. There's a balcony level that overlooks the main room with more bookshelves up top. This is probably the largest depository of literature that any of you have ever seen. And this particular room only accounts for maybe about half of the overall inventory of the library. Fable's desk is located on the opposite end of the main hall in a little chamber that separates the front and back end of the library. You'll enter the smaller chamber and head off to the right with your guide, and you spot an older man with thinning gray hair and a finely trimmed goatee, seated behind a large desk with a Tiffany lamp. And he's writing in a large journal. He's dressed in a reddish-brown long coat and is the epitome of an elder librarian. And he looks up at you as you enter. Well, you must be the new recruits. Welcome. Thank you, Janice. That will be all. So, is this your first time at Oxford?
It is for me.
Yeah. Excellent. Pleasure to have you, ladies. First time here?
Yes.
Never been here before?
Well, I understand my good friend, Mr. Crane, has sent you to me to speak of the unfortunate circumstances that have befallen our fair school. Is that so?
Yes. Do you have anything that might be of help?
Well, I have been able to maintain a bit of a reputation here over the years. Even though I had been gone for some time, I came back and took over the position here at the library, but many of the local constabulary are still familiar with me and my work with the Knights of Victoria. And yes, I can certainly take you to the scene of the crime and show you about a bit, and can speak of at least what I know of the circumstances. But from there, I can be at your service if you need me as you conduct your investigation.
Thank you. I believe we're ready to take a look at what you could show us.
Well, I suppose it's off to the races then. Let me gather some equipment very quickly, and I'll meet you at the front door, and we can be on our way to the scene of the crime. What do you say?
Sounds great.
And he steps away for a few minutes, and you guys can wonder about the library, as he's gathering his stuff. And he begins the trek with you. He meets you at the front door and begins the trek with you to the scene of the crime. So I'm going to change us to another map here real quick. When he comes back, though, he's carrying a large canvas bag that's slung over his shoulder with a strap, and you can hear kind of heavy clanking coming from the bag as he begins the walk to Lady Margaret Hall. It's about a 5-minute walk from the library. And Fable says, I appreciate you all coming over on such short notice. Oxford is not the den of sin that London has become in recent years, so an incident like this is not taken lightly. There, of course, is the occasional death on campus, but never anything so violent as this. Fortunately, as I said before, I have some pull with the local authorities. And when the body was discovered, I was called in to survey the scene. The police still have the area cordoned off, but the officers are aware that I will be bringing in a crew to investigate, so we should have no trouble accessing the area. The poor victim in question is a freshman student and was studying to become a nurse. Claudia Beckham is her name. Now, I didn't know the girl personally, so unfortunately, I know very little about her. The incident occurred around 1 a.m. this morning. Several of the girls were awakened by the sound of shattering glass, and upon looking out the windows, noticed the body of Miss Beckham laying on the ground at the base of the dormitory. I was called to the scene about an hour later and brought the equipment that I have with me here in this bag to document the scene. If you'll allow me a few moments, I should be able to get everything set up for you.
Yep.
All right, so here we are. And Fable has now led you to the Women's College, Lady Margaret Hall. He opens up his bag and he pulls out a series of metal poles and large glass bulbs and begins to screw them together to form 5 staff-like objects and begins to meticulously stake them around a 30-foot circumference at the base of one of the dormitories. He makes a slight adjustment to a knob on the final stake, and a greenish dome of hexagonal light appears over the area as transparent forms begin to take shape all around you. So if you follow Theodore, he's going to move up to the scene of the crime up here. And then in this area that he's standing in, you see a light. Now this big dome that lights up around this entire area. Within that area, as I said, these figures start to appear. And one of the figures in particular is, I think somebody is standing on that character there. I'm not sure who it is. Oh, there. Okay, Hieronymus, move down one for me, if you will. All right.
No.
And a figure appears right there.
Oi, is that a ghost?
Well, I don't know. She just appeared in front of me, so I would assume so. My dear lady.
He says, this is a system that I helped develop while in service with the Knights of Victoria. In recent years, Scotland Yard has been utilizing photographic forensics in helping them solve cases, but they are limited to what one single photographer can attain, and many things can be missed. The Fable vision, as I call it, can capture an entire scene within a 30-foot radius in 3 dimensions. It preserves a specific moment in time and allows us to walk around the crime scene and see exactly what was present at the time of the capture. Feel free to have a look around and let me know if you have any questions. So I'll turn the investigation over to you guys at this point. You just tell me what you want to do. Off in the distance, the other figures that you see here, there are numerous police officers that are standing around it, and they are completely still. This is literally a 3-dimensional photograph that you guys are walking around in. You see a couple of detectives hovering over the body. You see a crowd of individuals that look to be a crowd of students off to this area right in here, and then standing over in this area here in this little alley between the 2 buildings. And they're really pretty much just kind of looky-loos. You see a couple more cops that are just kind of holding a parameter there and trying to keep people back.
Which building did she fall from?
She fell from this building right here.
The corner there?
Mm-hmm. And her room that she fell from is about right here. So she didn't just fall out, she fell way out and down. And you can see that there it still is a broken window up top.
Could I cast Bless to give us a little extra ability to notice things?
Yeah, I think so. What does Bless give you exactly?
It raises, like, I can either raise allies one trait by 1 die or 2 with a raise, or I can curse and do the opposite to others.
Okay. Let me look at that real quick. Raise or lower 1 trait by 1 die or 2 with a raise. Okay. So you do have to pick that and say, I'm going to raise this particular trait.
Yeah, I would like to attempt to raise all of our smarts.
It needs to be a trait. So.
Oh, a trait.
Mm-hmm. So for investigation, that's probably notice.
Okay. Yeah. So I open my book, my holy book, and Almighty, please grant my shipmates and I the wisdom and ability to notice things and help solve this crime. And I'll roll.
And you can do that in your powers and hit the faith button down there.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Got a 14. That's definitely a raise.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody gets a +2 on your notice rolls for the remainder of this scene. Now, I think technically, you have to choose one person to do that too, but I'm gonna let that pass. All right. So who's doing what?
I'm gonna make my way through the crowd while they're investigating the main scene and see if I see anything with my cane, kind of walking, looking at the faces, see if I see anything unusual in the crowd of spectators.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a notice then for me, please.
What did you say we get to add to it?
You get to add 2 to that.
Do you just write a +2 in the little box there if you wanted to?
You got it.
Okay. Sure goes fast.
Oh boy.
Wow, I'm only D4 on it, but I happened to get that little situation and got 11.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you kind of take a look at the 2 areas here and on this side of the dome where people are standing. And there's a crowd of mostly girls that are kind of maybe about 25 women in all, and they're looking on with a series of bobbies that are present, kind of keeping the looky-loos back from the body. All of the female students look on with curiosity and are dressed in night clothes. However, you happen to hone in on one girl in particular that is kind of peeking around a pair of girls somewhat sheepishly with a particularly furrowed brow that denotes either worry or concern or both. In contrast to the rest of the girls, she is dressed in a black dress with red trim. Her hair is pulled up tightly in a bun and she wears dark lipstick. And I can actually show you a little picture of this lovely little lady. Pull that up. That's what she looks like there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the concern and worry on her face.
And gigantic hands.
I can't help that. They all have gigantic hands in England. Gigantic hands and big teeth. So.
All right. Well, I'll let everybody else investigate it, and then we'll ask some questions of our friend, of our Mr. Fable here.
Sure.
I'd actually, if you'll let me, like to go into her room and look out her window from where she thought.
Yeah, sure. You can go up there. So her room is on the 3rd story. And the bubble here just misses the room. So unfortunately, you do kind of walk out of that 3-dimensional photograph. So what you see in here is just what was left behind. The room seems to be in order for the most part. The window has been smashed from the inside, though, as very little glass shards are present in the room. There's 2 beds in here, one of which the sheets are disheveled. The other is completely made up and undisturbed. Why don't you roll a notice roll?
+2.
Yep.
Sorry. I guess I don't.
5. Well, no, your goal there was to hit at least a 4.
Okay.
You suppose that the disheveled bed likely belongs to Victoria, because the closet nearby seems to hold her belongings. She certainly has a roommate, though. The other closet has clothing and personal belongings that don't match hers. But you find it odd that at 1 o'clock in the morning, her bed is undisturbed. Is there anything in particular you're looking for in this room?
I'd actually, if I can, I'd like to use my object reading.
Sure.
To do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm trying to figure out what I should read, though.
There's nothing but her personal belongings on her side of the room. So, just about anything in there. That you have learned, though, that the more personal an item is, the better the reading can usually be.
Okay. Does she have anything? Does she have a nightstand or a dresser with a hairbrush or perhaps
absolutely. Yep, there's a nice small dresser in there with a little mirror that apparently both of the girls share, but based off of what you saw just at a glance downstairs, she had kind of blonde hair, and there's a brush there with blonde hair on it. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll do that. I'll pick up the brush and use my object reading.
Okay.
Oh,
So
sorry, that's
if you go to your powers and go to object reading, then you can click on the spell casting button there, and then that'll roll that for you.
here it is. Sorry. And there it is. Okay.
All right, got a 9. That's a success and a raise there. So you take a hold of that brush, and at the moment that you get it in your hand just clasps around it, and your eyes roll back into your head. And you are standing in the exact same spot that you're standing in right now, but all of a sudden it's nighttime. And behind you, coming from Claudia's bed, you hear the sounds of passionate lovemaking.
Turn around and watch that.
And you see
Pound.
You see Claudia there in bed with a fit young man with blonde hair and blue eyes. And when the lovemaking subsides, the two of them cuddle for a little while. The boy dresses himself and he makes his way off into the night. After a few moments, Claudia goes to her closet. She puts on her nightgown, and as the dress falls into place, she is startled suddenly by a figure standing behind her in the mirror. The figure is enshrouded in a bluish green light, has long wet hair and empty white eyes with no pupils. Claudia spins around and the figure reaches into her chest, backing her up to the window. And the figure wrenches Claudia's heart from her chest and lets out a wail which is so powerful it sends Claudia hurtling backwards through the window and into the courtyard below. And then you are snapped right back out of that vision.
I dropped the brush. Oh shit. So I run down to the field or to outside. I run outside and tell everyone what I see.
Okay, we'll come back to you then. Anybody else want to do some snooping around?
I'll see what I can notice just by looking at the body, or the area around the body.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your notice roll. Oh, you didn't get your +2 there, so that should be a 6.
Okay.
Okay, so you made your notice. Claudia is laying sprawled out on the lawn of the courtyard, laying on her back. There's a pool of blood under her head where she must have impacted with the ground, but that is certainly not what killed her. She has a gaping wound in her chest. And with your notice roll, you get down really pretty close and kind of take a look at the body, look at the wound especially, and you see that the wound itself is rimmed with what looks to be like these crystalline deposits. Almost kind of looks almost like frosty maybe, or icy.
Okay. And again, this is like a static image, so I couldn't tell if it was ice or crystals or...
That's right, yeah. And it's like, with it being a static image, everything that you see around you has kind of a very strong kind of holographic feel. So it's not like you're looking at a solid object of a person here, but just kind of this very ghostly like image instead. So, you know, getting in real close, it's got a lot of detail to it, so that's good. But as far as really being able to discern what it is, you can't touch it, you can't, you know, do anything but, you know, visualize what's there.
Got it. All right.
All right. I'd like to do a notice roll, and I'm kind of guided by my experience working as an irregular for Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to look for things that I think he would be interested in, like footprints, cigarette ash symbols, smudges on sleeves, you know, imprints or ink marks on the third finger of the left hand, anything that looks
Sherlock Holmesy stuff.
Sherlock Holmesy, typical Sherlock Holmesy
Man,
stuff.
what a name dropper.
All right, Mr. Aristocrat, born to the upper crust, whatever.
I go ahead and roll your notice. And you got a 10. That's good. Okay, so that's a success and a raise for you. This technology here isn't really doing much for you per se. You want to look at what the human eye can truly see. Okay, the picture is great. It shows a good image of what was captured there at the scene of the crime, but you know that the scene of the crime was not where she landed, but where she fell from. So your instinct is drawing you to go upstairs and take a look around. Now you know that Moira is in the room, and as you go up there, you can see that she is, in the midst of a psychometry session. So you don't want to disturb her. But knowing how Sherlock Holmes goes about his business, not everything is always right in front of you. So with your notice roll, you're drawn a little bit further down the hallway. You came up the main steps to come here, but you walk further down the hallway away from her room, and kind of round the corner of the hallway. And on the floor, you can see some residue on the floor that is kind of white in nature, that doesn't really fit like it should be here. And you're drawn down to it. Take a good close look at it, put a finger in it, bring it up, smell it, taste it, and this is chalk. But there is a area about 5 feet in diameter here that looks like something was here and hastily wiped away. And then you hear Moira let out a gasp, and she comes running out the room, and you see her down the end of the hallway there.
Is she heading away from me or toward me?
Dana, roll a nose. You can still add your +2 at this point.
Sorry, my mouse is so slow. +2?
Yep.
Sorry. Slow. There.
Okay, so you dart out, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a figure at the far end, and with the memory of this ghost figure just suddenly popping up, it kind of startles you, so you look, and you see Charlie down at the end of the hallway there.
Oh my gosh, you scared me. I have to tell you what I just saw.
Tell me in great detail.
I held the brush, and the girl walked to the mirror, or no, I forgot what I was doing. I forget the whole story. She put on her nightgown, and there was a lot of sexy time, fuzzy tingle time. And then she went to put her nightgown on, and she saw someone behind her in the mirror, and it looks like almost like a spirit, and it had no pupils in its eyes, and it screamed. It took her heart out, and the scream pushed her through the window. It was a wail like I had never heard before. Terrifying.
It came from the mirror, or you saw it in the mirror? You saw a reflection of it, or it emerged from a mirror?
The spirit, the creature, whatever it was, it just appeared behind her automatically. And then out the window. She took her heart, though.
I I don't know what to make of it. And if you've never heard of anything like that, any creature like that before, I don't know that I can add any wisdom to that.
The only wailing creature that I know of is the banshee, but I don't know what they look like, so.
Do they track in footprints of chalk or leave residue, little piles of chalk? Are they from Dover? Where do banshees come from?
Ireland and Scotland. I would think only a human could leave footprints.
Yeah, there's definitely no footprints around.
Just smudges.
Just smudges, yeah. Christy, again, with your notice roll and your training from Sherlock Holmes, now that the room is clear, you're free to go in there and kind of take a look around, see if there's anything perhaps that Moira had missed. And I'll keep that under the same roll with that raise that you had. Just looking about a bit, as far as anything here in this room, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's two things in particular that, might be of some interest. Number one, you're able to discern the name of her roommate. Just by shuffling through some of the papers on the opposite desk, you see the name Madeline Duncan written on several of those papers. They're just basic school papers and so forth, just keeping track of her grades. But then you also, as you're searching Claudia's desk, you find a series of love letters in the desk, revealing a secret relationship with a boy who signs his name Arthur. You don't find a last name, but you at least have a first. There's also a blue ribbon tied around the door handle to the room.
Classic signal for the roommate.
Should I follow her in there? I would like to have followed her back in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
The roommate's bed appears to have either been made recently, or perhaps she never came back. Never came home last night.
Mm-hmm.
Left
It
them
sounds from your vision, like the boyfriend is an innocent in this matter, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions about that.
Never be too sure. What did the love letters say? Let's read them.
Let's read them aloud.
There is much profession of love and the desire to be together, and some allusions to the fact that it is it's difficult for them to find time to be together, and some mentioning of Arthur's family, maybe not looking too highly on their relationship for one reason or another, but that those reasons are very thickly veiled. I think they're both being very careful in their communique to one another.
Is there a return address?
No return address. These are things that look like, maybe it was slipped under a door or handed to each other in class. I mean, it's kind of your typical classroom note paper, basically. So nothing fancy.
Should we look around some more, or should we go out and tell them what we found?
Well, we can come and go, I suppose.
Yeah, you've got access at least, for about an hour or so.
Do we see anything unusual about the mirror?
Give me a notice roll on that.
Anything physically out of place?
Yeah, give me a notice roll.
Sure. Are we off the +2? Are we still blessed?
What did that say, Mike? Does that last for a while?
Yeah, I think it's 5 rounds.
Oh, 5 rounds. Okay, yeah, you're past that.
So no?
Yeah, no, that's a no.
I'm trying to roll. I don't know why it's not rolling for you.
There's your character there. Okay, so you're
Have it
trying to roll notice, right?
Yeah, it's in a macro, but it says I've lost connection with the server. That would explain. Okay.
Oh, okay, all right. Are you back in or no?
Maybe.
There you go.
Yes.
7. Okay. As far as you can tell, you've pretty much gleaned as much information as you can out of this room. Nothing else seems to really be out of order. This was a sudden attack that literally came out of nowhere. Other than there's something about that chalk that's back there that is really kind of itching at the back of your brain. What could that be?
Yeah, I hate to ask for an object reading. It just seems like an imposition. I know it takes a lot out of you, Moira. But do you have any ideas about this chalk in the hall?
Is it in front of a room? I can't remember.
It's down the hallway, around the corner.
The hallway.
Out of sight.
And it literally just looks like someone swiped it or like brushed something.
Yeah, brushed it away in haste. Yes. Now, did you subtract your power points for using psychometry already? You need to make sure and do that. Same thing for Father Mapple. You need to take your power points off. And that's on under your powers where it says PP.
Okay.
And you just manually.
Yeah, you just manually
Change
take
that.
it off.
So,
And that's 2 per. Is it 1 or 2?
For it'll tell you under object reading power points 2. Yep.
High tech stuff. PowerPoint's 2. Okay. Thank you. I didn't know we had to do that manually.
Yeah, I wish that would automatically take it off.
No, that's great though. Thank you.
Are there any people around?
Nope, they've cleared this entire dorm here.
All right. I'll try again. Object reading, and I'll put my hand on the chalk, just onto the floor.
Okay.
Ooh, cute. I think I see something.
10. Yep. All right, so you see a girl dressed in a black dress with red trim. And she is drawing a circle on the ground and writing out these strange runes inside this circle. She takes a few steps back. She puts her hands in front of her, like this, with her index finger pointing up and the thumb pointing out. And she begins to chant. And as she does, a smoke begins to raise from this circle that she's drawn on the floor. And the figure that you saw in the mirror that attacked Claudia begins to take shape. And she then floats down the hallway and then disappears into the door, through the door of Claudia's room. You hear the scream that Claudia emits when she is attacked. You hear the crash of the window, and then you see the figure come back out and down the hallway. And it's hard to hear because this is really, it's all garbled for the most part. Because this is psychometry, you're seeing what's there, you're not exactly hearing, but you hear muffled conversation between the living girl and this ghost. And it seems to be a one-sided argument, and the girl is pointing at the other one and throwing her arms about wildly as the ghost steps back into the circle and disappears. The girl in the black dress kneels down quickly, wipes everything clean, and she darts off out of sight.
Did I get a good look at the runes that she threw on the ground?
Give me another notice.
I'm gonna lose my lid if she chanted Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary 3 times.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
I got another 10. We're rolling good tonight. Yeah, you can kind of memorize what's there and should be able to reproduce it fairly closely.
Okay. I'm gonna do that in the chalk right then. I'm gonna draw with, with my finger
Okay.
right into the chalk on the floor, and just, I'm not gonna do any chanting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, this is what I saw to Charlie. Some kind of ruins and
And
someone.
if I recall correctly, neither of you guys have a cult, correct?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So it doesn't make any sense to you, but you're able to reproduce it fairly well.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna slip some of the chalk into one of my pockets
Okay.
and see if we can take that back and get any stuff
Mm-hmm. Sure.
back at the lab.
I'm gonna also write the symbols in my little chatelaine. I have a little notebook. I'm gonna write them down. Shall we head back out to the rest of the
Yeah.
team?
Is the team down on the grounds seeing the shadows of what were, or are there the people that the crowds, are they real crowds in real time, or
No.
is it all photographs?
All photograph, yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys head back down.
Mhm.
What are the rest of the gentlemen doing?
Well, I'd like to ask Mr. Fable if he knows anything about this, a girl with a black dress, red trim, dark lipstick. Has she been seen around here?
Well,
Do you know who that might be?
Big hands.
And
Yeah.
I indicate over in the photograph who that is. Does he recognize her?
You take him over to the girl. He looks her up and down. You have to understand, I see many students coming in and out the doors of the library from day to day, and unfortunately they all do kind of run together unless I have personal dealings with them. I would say yes, I do recognize her as one of the students, but her manner of dress is not that which we would normally perceive our female students to be dressed in, especially at this time of night.
Mm-hmm. But you do recognize her as one of your 200 students here.
Yes.
Very good. Do you have a name?
I do not. But I'm certain we could probably come up with a name for you.
Yes, I think that would be important. Thank you.
So, is our little Fey dog with us, or did we leave? Okay, because I figured we were outside. Can I roll a notice just to see if he is doing anything kind of out of the ordinary?
Sure.
Because I mean, this is side of a dead body, or was a side of a dead body.
Sure.
All right. 5.
You forgot to add 2.
I think
yeah, that's well, unless you did it like right away. I mean, if you want to say that was what the first thing that you did, I'll let you put the 2 on there if you want to do that.
Well, sure. That's the first thing I did. There you go.
Okay. When you met him initially in front of the Bodleian, he was happy-go-lucky and happy to see most everybody except for you, because he's still a little kind of scared of you. But here, he's definitely more reserved, and he has taken to kind of pressing his body up against Bendigo. And is kind of staying away from these ghost-like figures, that are inside the dome.
Okay. So are the ladies back down to the courtyard then?
Yeah, they can be back down. And I'm sure you guys would share all the information that you gleaned up there. So we can say that, you've relayed that information to the gentleman. So
I guess I should ask, was the person or the lady that you saw in your vision, Moira, the same one that Kurt is asking about?
The answer there is certainly yes.
Sounded like
it's so it does sound like we need to pursue finding her at all costs, because she's definitely part of this.
Yeah, so it's our best guess that she was creating ruins and conjured something. Is that what it seemed like to have happened, Charlie? And
She may have summoned something.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that this woman is the roommate that wasn't there? Like, was she tired of having to give up her room for the boyfriend? Was she jealous of the boyfriend or of the victim?
Claudia's roommate was not present at the time of the incident, or so she told the authorities. She has been sequestered at the local constabulatory for questioning. To the best of my knowledge, I believe she may still be there.
But this lady is not her roommate.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I will say that several of the girls that discovered the body stated to authorities that they saw a girl standing at the window, enshrouded in a greenish blue light. One moment she was there, and the next she disappeared. And for the record, I had the body itself taken to the morgue at the medical college here on campus. And we've taken steps to preserve the body as best we can. And you're welcome to take a look at that if you wish.
Well, it sounds like we get to split up. Sounds like some of us need to go question the roommate, and the others need to maybe go check out the body at the morgue.
Does anyone know where Arthur is?
Or who Arthur is.
You don't have a last name.
Just know that he's super cute. He has blonde hair and blue eyes.
And a birthmark on his
On his right cheek.
Spelling birthmark.
This cheek, right up here. Here.
And just for the podcast listeners, when we say big hands, we meant big hands. All right, so who do we want to go?
I'll go to the morgue.
Okay,
Who wants to go?
I will accompany you.
Theodore,
Yes.
would you let me take the dog inside and see if maybe he can pick up a scent or something?
Well,
Let him have a sniff around the chalk. I mean, there's nobody else around. It's just between you and me and the rest of the crew. You don't have to let anybody know you let a dog in, right?
there's nobody else around. I don't see anything.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm going to pop in here real quick. Don't mind the dog. I'll be right back out. Now I want to go down to where the chalk was that they were talking about and
Yep.
see if, just let him sniff around a little bit. And when I'm there, can I roll, what is it? A survival for tracking?
Sure.
Okay, just to see if there's any chalk marks anywhere or anything that could possibly lead to another room or something like that.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, boy. I reckon that's just something you're going to have to get used to. You might want to teleport over there for a moment. Sniff around there before you really try and get some of the scent.
Right, so with that roll, you certainly can do a little bit of tracking. Unfortunately, that doesn't really lead you anywhere other than where you end up finding the girl in black down in the photographed area. That you see a little bit of chalk mark, where maybe she might have stepped in it, and that kind of leads her down a back set of stairs. And on the back door up in this area, right up in here, you can see just a little bit of chalk dust on the door handle leading out. So you assume she went out that way and then probably ended up with the rest of the crowd out there later. As far as the blink dog, he doesn't really know what it is you're asking him to do. You can certainly try a persuasion roll with him at a -2.
Yeah. All right, mate. Nah, I reckon you might be new to this, but I need you to sniff around and try and pick up a scent or something, and then remember it, right? Let me just try to persuade you to do what I'm asking.
That sound was appropriate there.
Actually, he's out cold from Bendigo's passing.
Oi, Blinky, you all right, mate? Oh, that's not
laying
the
on his
scent I was
side.
wanting you to pick up. Yeah, maybe I should have stayed outside for this. So I guess that's nothing.
Yeah, he pretty much is just looking you right in the face as you're talking to him, and just and you kind of take his head and kind of push him down, a little bit to try to sniff, and he just kind of comes out from it and just licks you in the face. Yeah, he's not cooperating too much.
Okay. All right, mate. That's something we'll have to work on. All right, let's go back outside and chat with the rest of the crew.
All right, so is the thought you guys are going to try to split up and talk to the roommate and then check out the body?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's going where?
Oh, I'm
Morgue.
gonna go to. Yeah, I'll go to the morgue.
I'll go to the roommate.
Yeah, I'll go to the roommate too.
Put you in the wrong place.
Could I pursue that lead on the black dress? We're thinking the roommate's a different person than that, right?
Yeah, that's the thought, at least at this point.
Yeah. So should I pursue that, or do you want me to stick with one of the groups?
Triple split.
We can triple split if you want. Where would you go, sir?
Just up to the no, I don't think I need to go anywhere else. I think just up to the sort of receptionist desk. Well, I'm not sure. Because I'm not going to be able to just describe the person, am I?
Well, you could certainly try to describe them, but in this area right now, this whole area, the dormitories here are completely on lockdown.
All right. Well, I'll go talk to the roommate too. Then, for now, we'll deal with that later.
Can the guy who led us here? Can that 3D photograph be redisplayed elsewhere? Could we take that 3D photograph and show that to, say, an admissions person?
Yeah, with a little tweaking, he might be able to extract that image. He'll have to take that back to his home tonight to try to see about doing that. But yeah, he says he can work on that for you.
Okay, that would be helpful. Hiranabot, don't you have a camera you can just project it or something, take a picture and project it?
Not a robot, but no.
I'm Lens. No, I said Hiranabot. You're not. I know you're not a robot. You're a bot.
Not a bot.
I'd say you're a bot.
I am a man.
And a bot. Some bot. There's a
You're just
percentage
an
of
old
bot.
man.
Well, you have to admit, with all that steel or whatever that metal is, you're part bot.
No, sir. My spirit and soul is a man.
Okay. In a bot's body.
All right, old man, let's move on.
All right, so we'll go to the morgue first. Theodore leads you to the medical building, one of the largest stone structures on campus, and this is one of the main colleges of study here. He leads you into the building and down a set of stairs to the basement, through a series of hallways to the end of a corridor where a single student sits at a desk outside the doors to the morgue, dressed in white. Theodore approaches the student, and he stands at his arrival, searches his pockets for some keys, and allows you entrance to the room. The student walks you over to a large metal door inside the morgue and opens it with a creak. A burst of cold air hits you as the door opens, and you can see that the room is lined with blocks of dry ice to preserve the bodies that lie within. There are 5 corpses on hand, each covered in sheets, and the orderly notes that the rest of the bodies are on hand for medical studies as he pulls the gurney out that hosts the body of Claudia Beckham. The sheet is removed to reveal the corpse of a young woman. As you had seen in the Fable Vision crime scene capture, she has received a crushing blow to the back of her head from the impact, and there is a gaping wound to her sternum. Upon closer inspection, as stated in your conversation earlier, her heart has been removed. Give me either a science or a notice roll, anybody that's looking at the body.
The notice.
And the notice, if it's a notice roll, it's at a -2.
Oh, it's a -2?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, hold on.
What? It's a what?
If it's a notice roll, it'll be at a -2.
I think mine could have been.
That was a long one.
I gotta say, I'm really glad that we're in a morgue where things are already a little bit stinky.
All right, Bendigo.
Yeah.
You can deduce that the heart was removed with a great amount of force, not surgically removed, but violently ripped from the cavity, which that's pretty much information that you really already knew. Now, the crystals that I think it was Father Mapple, I think, had seen are no longer visible and likely melted as the body was exposed to the elements for several hours before being placed in the freezer. Other than that, looking at the body, there's not too much more that can really be gleaned out of that.
What a brutal way to go.
Is there anything kind of particular that you're kind of looking for?
Is the body contorted in any strange ways or anything?
You have seen rigor mortis. She has not been dead really long enough for the amount of contortion that she's in. And thinking back on the scene of the crime, the position that she is in is the same position that she was in when she was found. So you would suspect that she was in some form of rigor mortis at the time of her discovery.
Seems like that set in rather quick. I wouldn't have expected a Beckham to bend like that soon.
You've been sitting on that for about an hour. Okay, you get a Benny for that. I'm giving you a Benny.
But doesn't it seem strange that her body's basically the same? Either she wasn't discovered for a very long time and rigor mortis set in, or it set in rather quickly and seems to still be here. Usually it kind of... You would think that having moved the body and having it here, it would have changed. Especially with the bloating and the passing of gas and everything that happens with death.
Is she frozen? Is she colder than normal?
Can I touch the body to see if it seems to be incredibly cold? Or colder than you would expect? Okay.
But not colder than you would expect, being in a room with dry
Okay.
ice. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she is the temperature of that room.
Okay. Well, we don't seem to have learned a whole lot here. Or at least I haven't.
Have there been any? Can we talk to the attendant?
Yeah.
Mortician.
Yeah. He's basically just an orderly.
Have you seen any other bodies with the heart removed or any other organs?
No, sorry, Mum. I must say this is the first incident like this that we've ever had. I'm perplexed at what could have occurred to have a person's heart ripped from their form. But no, nothing like this has ever happened before.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so we'll shift over to the constabulatory. And the station is a mid-sized brick building that stands 3 stories tall. It's the main office structure for all the local police, and where the higher-ranking officers and detectives call home. Aside from a few holding cells, this is not where criminals are kept for long periods of time. The detective in charge of the case is a short, gruff man in his 40s with a handlebar mustache named Edwin Moore. He's a bit standoffish due to the fact that this case is being somewhat commandeered by the Knights of Victoria, but he reluctantly shows you to an interrogation room where Madeline is being held. I'll pull up a picture of Miss Madeline for you. All right, there's Madeline. And as you can see, that's definitely not... yes, she has big hands, Andy, I know.
Clue.
Those things are flippers, man. They're not hands. And again, we were talking about just the hands.
But you can see, for certain that she is not the same person that you all saw there on scene. And truth be told, you did not see her on scene while you were looking around the crowds. But she is there at your disposal if you would wish to speak with them. Detective Moore stays in the room while you question her.
I can be I've got a very high persuasion if you want me to use it.
Sure.
My dear girl, what are you doing here? Why are you being held here?
The detectives were just asking about my whereabouts last night when the incident happened. I told them everything that I know.
And what do you know?
Well, I wasn't anywhere near the room. I was staying with a friend last night in one of the other dorms.
I look at the detective and say, have you confirmed that?
Yes, we've asked around, and that alibi does hold up at this point.
Have you seen a girl dressed in a black dress, red trim, wears dark lipstick, kind of uncommon to the other students of the college? Does she sound familiar to you?
I believe so, yes. I believe her name is Tessa something or another.
Tessa.
Always wears dark makeup, seems to be a bit of an outsider.
Is there anything else you can tell us about Claudia or the situation there? Is there anything else we should know?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, I think you rather should say. Look, see the robot over there? Not a very nice guy. Can I roll a persuasion?
That sounds like an intimidation. You did this last time. That's an intimidation.
Hey, and I have to tell you this, but I'm not with you. I'm at the morgue.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's not with you.
She looked over and she's like, what robot?
There's no robot here.
Okay.
This old man not only smells, he's crazy.
Okay, rewind.
Okay, I didn't know that those were two different things. Okay, so my dear girl, is there anything else that you could tell us? We really need your help. We want to get to the bottom of this. We care deeply about what's happened here. We want to make it sure it doesn't happen to any other students at this dear university of ours. So could you, if there's anything else you could please tell us, this is the time to tell us any information that you might have that we need.
Okay. That's a persuasion. So yes, please roll a persuasion. Yeah.
So if I say we'll sick our blink dog on you, that's intimidation.
That's intimidation.
Right,
Crosses the line.
Clear about that. Seven.
As she kind of comes up to you just a little bit, leans forward and whispers in your ear, could you ask the detective to leave?
Yes, I would be happy to. Would you mind exiting the room just for a moment?
This is my witness. You realize that, right?
I do, but I go up to him and I say, we might be able to get a little more information from her if we have the room to ourselves. And just for a moment, she may tell us something that she would otherwise, and we'll be happy to share that information with you.
Give me another persuasion.
I'm gonna 5.
Yeah. Okay. He gives a little bit of a huff, and he walks out the door, but just stands right outside with his elbow in the door, just kind of keeping it cracked and open.
Okay, my dear girl, he's left the room. What do you have to tell us?
All right, so she kind of goes into a little bit more hushed tones here. Thank you for that. He's a bit intimidating. Claudia...
I'm just persuasive.
Claudia was doing something that the administration would be rather unhappy with. Claudia had a code, and if she was with a boy, she would hang a ribbon on the doorknob. That way I would know not to disturb her. I saw the ribbon on the door, made arrangements to stay with my friend Angela Cooper, one of my old mates from secondary school.
Was there anyone else that was jealous of her?
Of her? I can't say that there would be.
Was the boy with the same boy that she's always been with, or was she with different boys at different times?
No. And that's why I say no one else would know, because other than myself, I don't think anyone knew that she was seeing Arthur.
Arthur. Was Arthur dating anyone before her?
Oh, yes. Yes, but he has been very serious for the last year and a half, 2 years, with another girl. Arthur is the captain of the cricket team, and if word gets out that he and Claudia were together, all hell will break loose. You see, this affair he was having was a bit, how should I say it, on the sly. Arthur has been seeing the daughter of Dean Franklin, Charlotte, for these past couple of years. If the dean were to find out, Arthur's last worry would be expulsion. Dean Franklin would likely have him castrated.
Well, that wouldn't be very nice.
But
Franklin, huh?
Dean
Franklin. Is Tessa involved with Arthur in any way?
I sincerely doubt it. He wouldn't spend the time of day on her, I'm sure. You see, Arthur had a certain reputation among certain circles. He's a senior this year, and although he and Charlotte have been together since sophomore year, he's been rumored to always have a girl waiting in the wings. How Charlotte has never found out, I have no idea. Maybe she does know, but she chooses to ignore it. Arthur comes from money, and Charlotte's family is well-to-do. Perhaps it's all an arranged partnership between the two families. I don't know. That thing still goes on, you know. Money marries money.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you. You've been very helpful. Does anyone else have any other questions? Oh, thank you, my dear girl. I'm sure all will be fine and you'll be out of here soon. We appreciate you cooperating with us. We call the detective back into the room.
Am I free to go?
That's not for us to decide. We appreciate you talking with us. We are co-investigating the case as well, helping out as much as we can, but unfortunately we can't just let you go. It's up to the detective friend here to decide that.
Perhaps you could put in a good word for me.
We certainly will. We tell the detective that, everything looks good with her and she seems to have a solid alibi and we don't see a problem.
I suppose I've gotten about as much out of her as I can, but thanks for getting the bit about Arthur out of her. Looks like that's where we'll be needing to go next.
It's our pleasure.
We'll get some paperwork filled out and get her out of here post-haste.
Thank you.
All right. So you guys have spent a decent amount of time. You all rolled into town about 4 in the afternoon. It was probably about 5 or so by the time you began the investigation. This has all taken maybe about 2.5, 3 hours in total. So it's definitely past dinner time at this point, so whatever you guys want to do now is kind of up to you.
Is there a tavern or a bar we can go to?
Yeah, I'm sure you could probably find somewhere. Frank had mentioned something about that he was going to be at the bar at the hotel.
I wonder if we should go somewhere where maybe local students would hang out.
Where does the cricket team go to have their supper?
I would say they probably go to the Eagle and the Child.
Eagle and the Child?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. All right, the Eagle and the Child is on the square in the middle of town. And definitely your instincts are correct. You definitely see a lot of stout and burly young students there cavorting about the tavern. I suppose you walk in and order up a few drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Waitress comes over. She takes your drink orders. What will you be having tonight?
I'll have a whiskey.
Same.
Oh, I'll have whatever dark beer you might have on tap. And you got a little something for our dog here.
Oh, well, isn't he something?
Oh, you've no idea, man.
He's not going to pee all over the place, is he?
No. He'll take himself outside if he needs to do that. I'll make sure of it.
He immediately cuts loose his bladder.
Oh, Mama. Oh, you know what? I really apologize.
Bendigo or the dog?
Could have been either one of them. They're very, very close right now.
Can I roll an apology? Do we have that?
Oh dear. I'll grab some towels.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'll clean it up. I spoke for the man and I shouldn't have.
All right, well, she heads off to go get some towels and grab the drinks for the group and leaves you to your own devices for a little while before she comes back and gets your order for food.
So what was the family name of Arthur?
Arthur's family name?
We didn't get it, did we?
Yeah.
Did we?
Mm-hmm. Yep, let me find it here real quick. Bates. Mm-hmm. That's his family's name, and then the dean is Charlotte's father, and that was Franklin.
So can I roll a common knowledge to see if I recognize those names and what I know about those families?
Where are you from?
England.
England's a big place. Where in England?
Oh gosh, I guess up around. I'm trying to remember what.
I think you were more up north.
I was more close to Hayden's Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Probably by the Liverpool area.
Okay.
I can't remember what I said in my bio.
Henry, you didn't go to Oxford, did you?
No.
Okay. Hieronymus, you can roll.
I've been here many times. I've been here many times because I do walk among many people who have.
Okay. Hieronymus, you can roll a common knowledge -4. Henry, you can roll common knowledge -2.
Because money begets money. So I figured I would know him just based off that.
That's true. Okay.
Well, look at that. With a -4, I still got 6.
My first one was 7. No, that was a 6. I got a 6.
Okay.
How'd I get that? Wow.
What?
Yeah.
No, you got a 5, didn't you? Oh, a 7.
That was my persuasion. Well, I don't know what that is.
Persuasion.
Oh, persuasion. I got a 6 in the last roll. That's what I'm looking at here. Are you looking at 6?
I got a 6.
No, that's Hieronymus that got a 6.
Oh, I haven't rolled it yet. That's why. I'm looking at his.
Kind of the old man's turned senile.
How do you? It's not. Oh, there we go. Okay. And do I put a -4 in there?
Yep. No, -2. -2.
Oh. All right. Here we go. I got a. Oh, what's going on here? 4.
Okay. The name Franklin for Sir Henry certainly rings a bell. Dean Franklin has been in charge here at Oxford for probably about 15 years or so. So that name is well known, certainly around this area. And having been through here, you know, you've certainly heard about Dean Franklin. And for the most part, seems, you know, like a stand-up gentleman, but he has been known to have a bit of a temper. Hieronymus, with your role, with the last name of Bates, you seem to recall that the Bates are in the hotel industry. And they own a string of hotels from Liverpool all the way down towards London. They haven't made it into the London market just yet, but through central England, they have probably about 6 or 7 different hotels that they oversee. So yeah, they come from money, and they're pretty high-end hotels.
Do I know, would I have ran it into them socially to know if the dad's a boozer or... remember, I didn't always look this way.
Yeah. Probably, I would say that you probably had been at a gala at one of the hotels, maybe in Liverpool.
Okay.
And yeah, he liked his drink. Whether or not he's a full alcoholic or not is kind of hard to say. I don't think you had any direct dealing with him other than just a passing, you know, this is Mr. Bates kind of deal.
Gotcha.
I think with my stealth, I'd like to sidle up to a table that looks crowded with cricket players, cricketettes, and see what I can overhear if they happen to be talking about the latest goings on.
Sure. Go ahead and roll stealth. Oh, that didn't go well. You head over to a table of guys that are just enjoying their drinks, and they're loud and boisterous. And on the way there, you slip in the urine of of the blink dog, and kind of go tumbling over, like directly onto one of the guys. Oi! And he turns around like he's getting ready to just throw a punch, and then he sees you, a woman, stand up at like almost 7 feet tall. Oh, you all right, miss?
Pardon me. My fault there. Sorry. Was that... You're not the captain of the team, are you?
Oh, no, that'd be Arthur.
Oh, Arthur. I'm sorry. I thought you were I thought you were him. My mistake. Where is he at this point?
I don't know. I haven't seen him. Something happened on campus last night that was a little bit disturbing. I guess he took it a bit hard.
What happened?
You haven't heard about the girl that got flung out of the dorm room?
What did you hear?
Well, a girl got flung out of the dorm room. They made her fate on the pavement out in front. Glad I wasn't there. I didn't get to see, the aftermath. A lot of the girls did, though. They're all torn up about it.
Horrible. What did Arthur have to do with that?
Oh, nothing. Old Arthur, he's friends with a lot of the ladies, if you know what I mean. But I'm sure he probably knew her.
You Arthur's mate?
We're all mates, Mom. He is the captain of the team.
Well, that's different from being mates, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all mates. There was something twinged with that comment.
Like it doesn't have the ring of truth, kind of?
Yeah. Am I gonna have to roll persuasion to get any more out of him? What do you want to get out of him? You can roll persuasion if you like.
Intimidation.
It might work better for her.
Yeah. Try that. Oh, yeah, that's not in my macros right now. See if I can find it though. Oh, there it is. So my intimidation takes the form of drawing myself up to my full height, banging my fist on the table, and saying, "Oi, what do you mean by that? Are you mates or not? Were you out last night? Wait, how long ago did this happen?"
It was this morning around 1 o'clock, but yeah, last night. Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say?
What? I'm not trying to say anything, Mom. We're all mates, right, fellas? And they all kind of have backed up from their chairs just a little bit and are kind of looking at him and just kind of, yep, all mates. All mates here, Mom.
Was he a good guy or not?
This guy kind of looks at the others and they all kind of look at him and they all kind of shrug a little bit, and he looks up and he's like, was he a nice guy? No. But he's the captain, so, we just kind of follow his lead. It's what we do.
Well, if anyone else has any questions, I imagine I've drawn enough attention with the slamming my fist on the table that some of my friends have noticed what's going on and are welcome to sidle up and add their own.
We just thought your arm malfunctioned again.
Are you heading kind of back to the group?
Could do.
Sorry, I maybe I just misunderstood. What?
But that's okay. No, I mean, I think I'm just glancing over at the table and I'm sort of making a scene, I think, a little bit. Mm-hmm. So
do we
I
have
wouldn't be surprised if they didn't notice.
Do we have the towels back yet from the lady?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm cleaning up the piss on the floor when I hear the bang. Mm-hmm. And I look up and I was like, oh, I march over there and I've got wet rags just drenched in piss. And I say, boy, Charlie, all these gentlemen bothering you? We got a problem here, mates. Do we need to step outside and handle this like fellas?
Roll an intimidation.
There's forthcoming as, they ought to be right now.
I don't even have intimidation.
That's great. Yeah. So roll unskilled attempt.
Is that untrained? So D4 minus 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he gets a 6. Look at that shit.
Oh, I got a 9.
But that was
And I take one of the rags and I just start wringing it out.
Flipping it around your head.
Right on the guy's shoes. And I just stare at him.
Hey, we don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble, mate. Sorry if we offended. We didn't mean no offense.
You offended? Charlie? You good?
I just don't think they're being as honest and forthright as I'd expect. I'm a little bit offended.
Blokes, I think we do have a problem.
All right, listen, who are you anyway?
That's a good question.
Who are we? Mate, maybe we should be asking you the same question, huh? Who are you?
Well, look, I'm just a cricket player. That's it. She ran into us and started a bit of a conversation. I don't know where it's going, and I don't know what it is you really want.
We'll just give her what she wants.
What do you want?
Yeah, Charlie.
Great question. It's a really good question. Where can I find Arthur?
Yeah, where's Master Bates?
Oh, why not, lad? You're gonna take all the pennies.
Oh shit! Hold on. There you go.
Oh my god.
And where's your friend Arthur?
All right, look. I can probably take you to him. All right.
Right.
Fellas, I'm gonna run for a bit. All right. He gets up and starts towards the door.
I think Hieronymus is malfunctioning.
He's gone.
Uh-oh. Did the dog piss on the robot? Right. Hey, gents. This bloke here is gonna take Charlie over to meet Arthur. Anybody else want to go?
No, we should probably all go.
Yeah, I don't think she should go alone. Even if she can take him.
Right.
All right.
I had only finished half my beer.
Bottoms up.
Half my stout. All right.
Like it.
Ugh. I make this beer strong in England.
I mean, you do a couple of little adjustments here before we go.
I'm just glad I don't have the ability to smell between somebody who's got piss hands and somebody who fell into piss. That's a lot of piss.
All right, bear with me for just 1 second here. I gotta rearrange a couple things. guys always love throwing me curveballs, so
the GM better give Bendigo a Benny after that.
He got 2.
Okay.
Timing was just.
All right, so you guys end up following this bloke out the door and back on campus. And he leads you to the men's dormitories, which look very, very, very similar to the dormitories that you were at earlier, because I didn't create a map for that. And he leads you down an alley between a couple of the dorms, and he says, Arthur's dorm is right up this way. And you come around the corner, and you see over by the fountain a little bit of a kerfuffle going on. And I shall explain what is happening. You arrive at the dormitories as students stroll around the buildings going about their business late in the evening. As you approach, however, you hear a blood-curdling scream coming from the courtyard behind the building in front of you. As you round the corner, you see a young woman with her back to you, holding a blonde-haired man aloft as another young woman looks on in terror from the ground, screaming bloody murder. The female figure holding the man appears to be semi-transparent and glows with a faint greenish-blue aura. She pulls her hand back as the man falls to the ground. And in her hand, she holds something. And I'll show you a couple of little pictures here that will kind of line them out for you a little bit. This is the, this is the image of Arthur Bates, blonde, still dressed in his clothes from the day as a student, in a nice blue jacket and gray pants, and laying on in large hands, laying on the ground. He's gone again.
He was laughing when the picture came up.
And then the blonde.
Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes, Andy. Don't look at the screen.
The blonde girl is laying on the ground screaming, and dressed in the blue vest and gray skirt of the women of Oxford College. And then we finally get a good glimpse now of the ghost-like figure, perhaps. Where is that? It's got to go somewhere else for that. No, it's not it. There it is. All right, so here's the image of the ghost figure. And she appears to be dressed in a manner that seems to be a little bit outdated from today's more common dress. If you had to guess, maybe it's about 20, 30 years, as far as the style goes. So
I was gonna say she looks more Celtic.
What does she have in her? You said she had something in her hand, right?
Yeah, she has something in her hand. The boy has fallen to the ground and is not moving.
What does she have in her hand? What does it look like?
It's hard to tell from this distance.
Let's get closer.
I think we should run over there.
Yeah, we all take off Well, I don't know if all of us do. I can't take off very well.
All right.
I go as fast as I can over there.
Yeah, just move at your pace before we do that. So kind of go back to about where you were, and then move your pace. Or if you want to run, you can roll a running die, which is on your character sheet next to pace.
I never run. One. The pace is how far we can go in a round?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what does the die give us? How much further we can go?
Yeah, how much further you can go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
How
it's,
can I 6?
it's pace plus the die, the other running die, right?
Right.
Okay. Can we move diagonally?
Yep, you can move diagonally. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have to go like that. 4, 7.
Okay, and I rolled for you guys for order at this point. So you guys get to about right there, and the ghost-like figure turns and screams in your general direction.
Pretty good.
Ooh, she rolled pretty good too. All right, so she got a 14. And I think you all... let me get something out here. We're going to measure this and see. All right, she's going to go about right there. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And she screams at all of you, and you are hit with this cold, cold wind that just cuts down through the bone. And all of your physical actions that you make for the next 5 rounds are at a -2. So that would be Lady Moira and Father Mapple. Oh, and Charlie.
I have arcane resistance, though.
Oh, okay. Yep, that'll have an effect for you.
So whatever.
Let's see, where is that? It's
Sorry.
under edges, right?
Yeah.
So for a -2 penalty.
A little bit.
Yeah, it still hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work for you in this particular case.
But everybody still has the hexstone that Santa gave.
To be able to see.
Well, it should be protection against magical attacks.
Oh, good point. Yeah, so you do get an extra on that then. And Father Mapple does too, but truthfully, it's still not going to be enough. She rolled a 14.
Yeah.
But yes, thanks for bringing that up, Andy. Okay, so as far as turn order goes, it rolls to Bendigo Jack at this point. So, Bendy, what would you like to do?
I want to see what she's got in her hand. I have a pretty good idea. I know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Roll a notice.
Okay.
That's a free action.
Do I need to do a negative anything? Because it's not a physical thing, right?
Well, it didn't touch you anyway, so it only affected Moira, Mapple, and Charlie.
Okay. I need to come up with some shorter ones of those.
You got an 8. Yeah, you can spot it. It's definitely a heart.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Boy, she's holding his heart in her hand. Oh, this isn't good, mates.
So she's like an apparition, right?
She appears to be.
Do I have my weapons?
Oh,
on me?
and by the way, you've got the dog with you. He's going fucking nuts.
Is he barking? Or is he just...
Yeah.
Okay. And he's barking at the apparition?
At her, yeah. Like he is enraged at her.
Okay. It's all right, Blinky. Calm down. It'll be all right. Do I have my weapons with me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to... Can I jump from the ledge of this fountain over the... Like through the water, you think? Like run through the water? I want to get my electro staff out that I took off the highwayman. And I want to try and swing it at her to see if it does anything.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So I'm going to go and swing it at her face.
Okay.
So what would that be? Fighting?
Fighting. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you go to the electro staff and pull that up, you can click on that and that'll automatically roll the fighting. Go ahead and target her. Well, yeah, go ahead and target her.
Okay. You do the target first. Click on her, and then run the electro staff. Fighting.
All right. So you leap through the fountain and charge the staff. It crackles with energy just as you're coming through, and you take a swing at her, and it just whiffs. Goes right through her. I mean, that was a good solid hit that you made on her, but it just goes right through her body.
Okay. Yikes.
Lady Moira.
Okay. I'm going to quickly spin around and see if I can see the woman who conjured the spirit before, or the ghost, or whatever it is. The monster, the creature. So I'm just going to spin around, see if I see it. So is that am I just rolling a notice, or?
Yep, just a notice.
I know that's really exciting action.
Got a 5. Let me try something here real quick. Nope, I froze up. Hold on a sec. There we go. Yeah, you do. Over here, you see a girl in a red, or a black and red trimmed dress back behind the statue off to the left, that is kind of watching in horror as to what is happening. And she sees you, and she begins to run. She goes around the corner.
Try to run after her, but I don't know if I can catch her.
I'm going to roll a quick thing here for her as well to see if she gets to go any further than that. Yep, she goes a little bit further. Okay, so yeah, you may attempt to pursue.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having trouble seeing things here. Okay. So
now remember, your physical actions are at a -2, so that also affects your pace.
Yeah.
So you can move pace -2 and then roll your running dice.
Guess I can't figure out how to do that.
Go to your main page.
Yep.
And then on traits, next to pace, there's a 6 in a square. And you just hit that.
That's the only one I roll. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So your pace is 6, but -2 would be 4, and then you rolled a 4. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a total of 8 is what you can move. So you got 8 squares that you can move towards her.
Okay. And she's on the other. She ran around the corner. Who knows where?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where am I? Sorry.
You're right here. Do 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 do.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I get.
Yep. Okay.
Faster pace.
Next up would be Charlie.
Okay. Well, I have a prototype device that's an aeronautical weapon delivery system, and I can tell from the path that she's taking that she's skirting the building.
Mm-hmm.
Tessa, it looks like she's taking a right and then a right, and so I'm gonna send this device, send it's a little flying machine, and it carries a few grenade type, grenades. So I'm gonna send it up over, if it works, all my fingers crossed and everything, because it is a prototype. I'm gonna send it over the edge of that building and try to drop down, not on her.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you for a minute. Is that on your character sheet somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Oh, I missed that somewhere.
It's gear.
Is under gear?
Yeah, it should be.
The grenade dropping drone.
Yes.
I don't see it, Christy.
Are you serious? It's on my sheet. It's on the handwritten sheet.
Oh, your handwritten sheet.
How convenient.
Under the column of I can make up anything I want, and
This comes from
On the
her.
fly.
This
Comes
comes
from
from her
poet.
Marvel character. Yeah.
right, exactly. It's poet. Confused there.
We look over and we see her arm going like a transformer.
It is. It's there. It's in italics.
It's handwritten in italics. do you mean cursive?
Cursive.
Right in italic.
It's in Old
Okay,
English.
okay, Christy. Okay, so is it legit written on your handwritten
is,
script?
yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to
Can you
toss
read
that over to me.
Well,
exactly what it says? Can you read
I've got
exactly?
nuclear bomb on mine.
Yes.
Does that count?
What it
I hear
says.
tactile writing.
What it says is aeronautical delivery systems prototype
Okay.
in parentheses. And I think there's a penalty for it being a prototype. I think there's a greater chance of it not necessarily working. It's not been proven in battle.
Okay. Well, how far can it go?
That far.
How far does it need to go?
Yeah. Good question.
The range is in bold.
Well, it's a.
Is there a range on it?
I'm sure.
No, I don't think we know that.
100,
As
probably.
far as the crow flies.
All right, then what is your repair?
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Repair is 10.
Okay. Let's say it has a base pace of 6.
Okay.
You can roll a. No, let's do this. Let's make the pace 10. And then you can roll a d6 to make it go further. you're pushing the limits of the machine at this point. But yeah, you can do that.
Am I pushing the limits of the GM?
A little bit.
All right, yeah.
And not to make this difficult, but she's also aiming on, like, she has no idea where this person's at. Mm-hmm. She just knows she's around the corner. So
right, but if the drone can pick her up, then it should be able to follow.
Yeah, I'm trying to divert her course of action by creating an obstacle, like a crater in front of her, a little. And I'm also trying not to damage any buildings. There's a lot.
So you're releasing it from where you are right now. Let me see if I can find something that I can give you as a token.
I'm not sure how to do this roll mechanically.
I can do the D6 for you. There are macros that you can add in if you go to the bar over there that says compendium packs and go to single dice, and you can put those macros in the macro bar down at the bottom, but we won't mess with that right now. I'm just going to drop something in here for you. Here's a Huey. There you go. So, did you roll your, or no, I guess I got to roll that for you. So I'll roll your D6. So we know she can move, or it can move 10 spaces. We're going to add 5 to that. So you got 15. So you can get it just above the structure here on the upper left.
Okay. Well, I don't want to drop anything on the building, if that's what.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'll at least definitely be a lot closer to her for sure. So I'll put that over there, and then maybe next round you might be able to do something with it. But yeah, where it's at right now, it's not going to be able to hit her.
Yeah, it's hovering. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll move to Hieronymus.
So if I pull Father Mapple back, like grab a hold of him and pull him back to get him out of the cold, that will help him? Or is he always going to be cold just because it was magic?
Yeah, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to help him out there.
Well, let's see. I guess. So the one dude's down. Pretty useless against magic people. I'm going to take off, and I'm going to, because I don't know which way the lady ran around the building, so I'm going to cut across to see if I can get over here to the far end of this building down here.
Okay, sounds good.
So let's see. We'll try running. So 6 plus 5, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, right there.
Okay. And next up is Cora, our little ghosty. We're gonna roll a little running die for her, so she can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I roll 3. 1, 2, 3. She heads back in that area right there. And then we go to Henry.
Does the heart that she's holding look as incorporeal as her body?
I would say no.
Good. I'm going to shoot it out of her hand.
Okay. Now, how far is that for you? That is...
Where is she?
13. What's your range?
Well, why don't I move closer first? I can move closer.
Okay.
I can move 5, so I'll get a little closer. 5. All right. And now I'll do it.
Okay.
How's that? Is that better?
Yep. Now that's a called shot, and that's going to be a -6.
Yeah. All right. I also get a +2, so that's a -4.
What's your range on the gun?
I had it on my old sheet. I don't know where all that stuff is now. Gear. Range on the gun is... Oh, it said it on my other sheet. I don't think it says it on here.
5, 10, 20.
Yeah.
If you click on it, it'll pull it up. It shows you.
On the flintlock pistol? Okay.
So that is mid-range. So that's going to be an extra -2. So you're at a total of -6.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
No, -4.
I said -6.
-4, because I get +2.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. All right, so -4.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Come on. I'm gonna put a -4 in there, and here we go. So that's what, a 6. Yeah, 6.
Okay, yeah. So you hit it, and the heart just explodes.
And she doesn't do anything else.
Doesn't look like it had any effect on her.
All right.
Father Maple.
Sorry about your heart.
I just kind of start running after Cora the best that I can.
So -2 to your pace, and then roll your running die.
So -2 + 3, that's 7. And do a diagonal space counts as one space, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
And I think, having seen, people trying to do physical attacks to her that don't work, I just kind of use my turn to get closer and try something else.
Okay. All right. So that takes us to the end of this first round. So we will now go to a chase sequence. So I'm going to pull that up. Okay, so here is Tessa. And here is Cora. If I remember correctly, I think Moira, you had run forward a bit, so you're definitely closer. So I'm going to put you about right there. I don't know if I can put you in there or not. Yeah, I can. Look at that. Henry, you were a little bit closer. Let's switch these so we know who's running after who. The helicopter is the drone. Yeah, and that should be about right for the rest of you guys. Okay, so now we're going to go into chase mode. Now you can do distance attacks, but you have to be within 2 cards of either of them to do a distance attack, or you can choose to move forward by rolling in athletics, and any other actions that you would normally do in combat, you can still try to do. So at this point, we go to Bendigo Jack.
Okay, so if I need to get close enough to throw my boomerang at Tessa,
you got to get 1 card forward.
Okay,
so you're going to roll athletics. Yep.
No whammies.
got a 4. Okay, so that would put you on the next card. So I'm moving you forward.
Okay.
Okay, but that will constitute a run for you. So if you do choose to attack, it will be at a -2.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna throw my boomerang. I just want to spook her.
And you're going after Tessa, right?
Yeah, because I don't think that I can do anything to foster.
Okay.
So I need to throw my boomerang at a -2.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use a Benny?
Yeah. You know what? I tell you what we ought to do is probably roll a test, because you're not trying to actually hit her, correct?
No, I just wanted to go around the front of her face and have her
okay,
fall or stop.
Then let's try this. We're going to target her, and I'm going to roll this for you. These are available as well, and I'll tell you later where to find this. I won't waste the time on it right now, but I'll go ahead and roll this for you. And we're going to test. And we're going to roll athletics. Okay, so you rolled an 8, and Tessa needs to roll an 8 or higher on hers. And she's got a D6. We're rolling for her. 8 or higher, she did not do. So Jack, outcomes, succeeded. You can add distracted or vulnerable to Tessa.
Great rolls, vulnerable. The hero subtracts 2 from all trait rolls until the end of the next turn. Vulnerable actions and attacks against the target are made at a +2. Let's make her vulnerable.
Okay.
That'll negate the -2.
It's vulnerable. Okay, there it is. All right, so she is now vulnerable. Good, it actually did that to her sheet. Okay, that's good. All right. Then we go to Lady Moira.
All right. Excuse me. I have the. I picked up that weapon. I can't think of what it's called. It was like a shotgun, electricity or something.
Yep, it should be on your sheet.
I'm looking for it.
And that's the energized plasma shotgun.
Is it under gear?
Yep, under gear.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I just didn't see it on the quick thing. Okay, I'm gonna try to shoot at the ground in front of her.
Okay.
Or not in front of her, I guess. Kind of under, kind of bump her up and stop her shooting.
All right, so that'll be a -2 to that roll.
Okay, so shooting -2.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I can redo that if you.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Now I didn't see it actually appear. You might re-roll that.
Okay. So when I click on it, I have shooting -2 listed.
Yep. That's what you want to do.
I did. I'll do it again.
It's not appearing in the chat log for some reason.
It's not. It's on mine.
Oh, it's on yours. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I've got a pop out on that, and it's not appearing on there.
But
So,
oddly enough, it's the exact same roll.
exact same. Okay, all right. And you're shooting at
Like at the
Tessa,
ground.
right?
Yeah, like at the ground.
The ground. Okay. So again, we probably need to roll a test. So let's forget that, and we're just going to roll a test instead. And that was a fail. Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay, so that was your action for this round. We go to Tessa, who's going to continue to try to run at this point. And we're going to roll athletics for her. And she succeeded, so she moves forward to the next card. Okay. And then we go to Hieronymus.
I'm just going to try to move forward.
Okay.
So, athletics. Roll.
You got a 4, you can move forward 1 card.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to have to put you there because you probably can't walk through the wall. Okay. Do you want to do anything while you're there? Do you?
I can try that sonic emitter still.
Now that's what's the range on that?
6, 12, and 24.
All right, so that's going to be the long range, so that'll be at a -4.
Okay. So.
And that doesn't do damage, that just makes her
that's
distracted or vulnerable, right?
Right. Which she was already vulnerable.
But you can do both. Like if you can make her distracted now as well.
Okay. So let's see. I need to do -4.
Nope. That's a miss.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Cora gets to go. And she is gonna run. Oh, holy shit. Yeah. Yep. She runs. She gets 2 squares ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now she can choose to escape at this point. So she darts around the corner and disappears. And then we go to Henry.
All right, and I think I'm going to have to call it at 11:30.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's running a little long. We should be done here very shortly.
All right, so I'm gonna. What am I doing? Running?
Yep.
All right.
Or well, you can do whatever you want. She's within long range for you.
Well, are we trying to kill her? We don't want to kill her, do we? I don't think we want to kill her. We haven't talked to her yet. Do we want to kill her? Are we trying to kill her?
I was trying to spook her.
Oh, all right. I'll fire a shot up in the air.
Okay.
At her. That's all.
All right. Then this is going to be a test then as well. So I'll select you. I'll roll the test for you. And you got a 5. Tessa needs to roll a 5. She did not. Okay, so now she gets the added effect of distracted.
Right.
And then we go to Father Mapple.
I'm just pretty determined to try to catch up to the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to keep running after her to see if I can catch up.
Sure.
That's athletics?
Athletics, yep. All right, that puts you 1 square forward.
All right, I'm going to stop there. Or
Okay.
not do any other actions.
And then we come back around. Charlie, you're not in the mix. Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, Charlie. I skipped you. So you can make your action.
Okay, I'm just letting the drone continue to head toward Tessa, and I'm heading toward the ghost with my throwing arm. I want to throw a.
Well, you don't see her.
So okay, so I'm not. So it's all not simultaneous. It really is one thing and then another and then another.
Yeah, you can still run to try to catch up to her, but you just can't see her right now.
Okay. Then that's what I'll do. I'm just running.
Okay.
Athletics.
Mm-hmm. You got a 6, that'll put you up a card. And then your drone will be able to catch up to her on this because the drone's pace is enough to get close to her. So you've been able to catch up with the drone. What do you want to do with the drone?
I'd like to drop the device that I'd loaded into the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And before I had loaded it, just in case, I had it in my pocket with that chalk dust. I don't know if it would have any effect at all, but that's what I'm doing. And it's going to drop in front of her.
Okay.
To try to turn her around.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. She's already distracted and vulnerable at this time. So, yeah, you've slowed her pace for sure. So then we can roll back around to Bendigo.
I'm just gonna try to catch up.
Okay.
I think.
Athletics once again.
Okay, where's my character at? There it is. Oops, I targeted myself. Hold on 1 second. Athletics. Do I do a -2? Are we still doing that?
No.
Okay. Okay, I want to spend a Benny.
Okay.
Okay, let me do that again. That's better. I got a 7.
Okay, that will put you 1 more square. There you are. So you're up the next card.
Okay.
And anything you want to do as far as like distance attack or anything like that?
Yeah. So we need to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
I reach into my backpack and I pull that bar of soap out. And I'm gonna throw it at her as hard as I can in the hopes that it pops her in the back and causes her to stumble and fall.
Okay, sounds good. Roll athletics.
Athletics. All right. Let's do it. I'm going to spend a Benny.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 1 more Benny.
With soap. Oh my God.
I'm going to do 1 last Benny. Okay, I quit.
Well, 5 is good. You can hit with a 5. All right. So damage with a bar of soap.
It weighs 0.2 if that helps.
Okay. We're gonna roll a d4 for you.
Okay.
and a d6. So you can roll There's that. You got a 3. A 4. Okay. All right. So you got a 4. All right. So you hit her, and she's distracted and vulnerable.
If anything, she has to stop and be like, "What the hell?"
And let's see here. So this is going to be athletics.
Gosh.
Wow. Oh, look at that. All right. She got a 4. Okay. So she's not stunned. All right. Thunk. You hit her in the back of the head.
She just keeps going.
She's trying, but she's really not doing very well right now.
Okay.
Lady Moira.
All right. I'm gonna move the earth in front of her, trip her, face down in the dirt. Elemental manipulation.
There you go.
I got it.
All right. And what was it you were trying to do again? I'm sorry.
Just move the earth up in front of her, under her, like right in front of her feet, so she trips.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She is efficiently stunned and trips and falls onto the concrete and actually gets a wound.
Ooh.
All right. At this point, she's down, so you guys can catch up to her. And those of you that were going after the ghost, I think Father Mapple, I think you were probably the closest. No. Well, Father Mapple and Henry were the closest. So, the helicopter was going after Tessa.
Oh, sorry.
So Father Mapple and Henry roll a notice. All right, both got 5s. Look at that. Okay. All right. So you guys round the corner that you saw her go around, and on the concrete of the pavement there is another circle drawn in chalk, and the ghost is nowhere to be seen.
Aha.
Those of you that were going after Tessa, what would you like to do?
Retrieve my soap.
Get your soap.
I think at this point, she's down, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. We just go around her and we try to get her to a position where we can talk to her.
You gotta tie her up or something.
Yeah, you can restrain her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if 3 of us are around her, she's not gonna go.
She's not going anywhere. And she's crying and she says, "No, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me."
We don't want to hurt you, miss. We got questions for you. Why were you running away? What was that thing? What happened to Master Bates?
She says, I really didn't mean either of them any harm. I'm so sorry. This has just gotten so out of control. I didn't mean for this to happen. I just wanted to scare him. I didn't want anyone to die.
So all this was for teenage inks.
He and I did have a relationship.
What kind of relationship did you have?
It was just a fling. It was one night. We spent the night together, and I had been attracted to him for so long, and finally he paid attention to me. And then the next night, he was gone, and he never spoke to me ever again.
So, are you summoning the ghost?
There's an old ghost story that circles around here at Oxford about a girl that died here on campus back around 30 years ago. Her name was Cora Foster. She was having an affair with a young married professor, and she ended up becoming pregnant. Supposedly afraid that Cora would ruin his marriage and his reputation, the professor came to her room one night, took her out to Parsons Pleasure on the shore of the river Cherwell for an evening walk, and drowned her in the freezing cold water in the middle of winter. Her body turned up days later, and she was deemed a suicide, and the professor was never caught. I spent last summer obsessed with Cora after Arthur turned me away, and I ventured out to Parsons Pleasure and found that many of the men, both the professors and some of the older male students, use it as a private cove there for nude sunbathing and homosexual activities. Women are strictly forbidden, and once I was discovered, I ran, and I got lost in the nearby Bat Willow Meadow. It was there I discovered a group of women who took me in and protected me from the men that were chasing after me. These women listened to my story of rejection and my obsession with Cora Foster, and taught me how to summon a vengeful spirit. I swear I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to pay him back for hurting me, so I never meant for anyone to die.
Wait a minute, you did this for Arthur, but what about the other girl that went out the window? Did you summon the spirit for that too?
No, I thought Arthur was still there, and I just meant for her to go in and scare him, but she kind of took things on her own. I told her that's not what I wanted, and that I just wanted her to scare him.
Control.
Yes, I've lost control. I don't know if I ever had it now, to be honest. I didn't mean for Arthur to die just now. I can't believe that it just happened.
Wait a minute. So you summoned her because you were trying to scare Arthur, thinking that she was in that Sheila's room, and she killed the other lady, and then you thought it'd be a good idea to try and scare him with the same thing again?
I don't know.
Indigo, hit her with the bar of soap again.
You know what? Put this in your mouth, because I don't want to hear you talk anymore, because you're kind of stupid. And I put the bar of soap out.
Put it in your sock and beat her with it.
I'm sorry, but that's got to be the stupidest thing I ever heard. After it went so horrifically wrong the first time, you decided, I'm sure the second time this little ghosty thing that rips hearts out and screams at people and makes them chilly is going to just go in and be like, boo. I think we're missing something here, right? Am I the only one who thinks this is the dumbest? Is she really this ridiculous? Lady, you're playing with fire. You're getting burned.
How did you know how to summon her?
That's a pretty good question. Give me this soap back.
It was the women of the coven that taught me how to draw the circle.
Where's can you tell us where the coven is so we can go and talk to them?
It's in an area east of here, close to the river, called the Bat Meadow.
But is this spirit only coming forward when you conjure her, or is she coming forward on her own now?
I think she's coming forward on her own.
That makes a lot more sense.
I didn't draw a circle. I drew one at the dormitory last night to summon Cora, yes. But I swear to you on my life, I didn't draw one tonight. I just wanted to see what Arthur was doing, and then she just appeared once again, and she did what you saw. She took his heart.
I think there's somebody else that's controlling her at this point.
I think
Or she's a spirit on the loose.
I think we need to go find that coven, and I'll go do that now.
Okay, so we'll call it for a close tonight with the expectation of visiting a witch's coven next time. Thanks for sticking out so long. I didn't mean for it to go this late. I apologize.
I'm going to call you at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and you
everybody.
will,
5 in the morning,
I
my
know.
time.
Yeah, I might get up 5 a.m.
It's 12:46. You're almost 1 o'clock in the morning. All right, y'all. Have a great
All
one.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks,
good
guys.
night.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.